makes sense.
All right, now that the sports topics out of the way, we can finish off with one more topic, and it is anime. So let's start with some shows that people should be watching. I got a couple on the list, and Todd, you can jump in if you have any thoughts on these shows. Uh, the first thing that comes to mind in terms of animes to be watching, if you're looking for something that is kind of more lighthearted, not so much like action pack in your face shown in anime, I recommend the new season of Spy Family. That's a nice little heart. It's a wholesome show. I watch it with my niece sometimes. I have my 9-year-old niece, and we both like to watch it when we're hanging out. So that's a good show. If you're looking for more of like fantasy aspect, I'm gonna go with the new season of Goblin Slayer. I mean, Todd actually showed me Goblin Slayer. He just said,
Great
"Watch the
first
first
episode.
Just watch the first episode." I'm like, sure. And I was appalled. I was like, oh my God, what on earth
AJ
is this?
saw it. He's like, "This is my type of show."
This is exactly what I was looking for. But no, like Goblin Slayer, it's cool. If you get past the first 2 episodes, the rest is just like, it reminds me of like playing like World of Warcraft or Dungeons and Dragons. So it has like that fantasy aspect with like medieval times shit. Um, Another show that I've been watching. Oh yeah, of course. I can't forget this show. The new season of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll admit the first half of this season has been very boring and slow, but that's just them building context of what the future plot lines are. There's a lot of like flashbacks, but it comes into play when they progress the story. So I understand why it was a little slow at first. Definitely recommend that. And then one more recommendation I would say is one of my personal favorites. It gets hate on, but I really like watching it. Is Tokyo Revengers. Like the main character is very stupid, but the fighting is pretty good, and the side characters are just more interesting to make up for the lack of how interesting the main character is. I know it's kind of weird when I say it like that, but I don't know. I just think it's a good like fighting anime. If you just don't put all your attention on the main character. How about you, Todd? What do you got?
I'll be honest, man. Like, I haven't really been watching anime lately. The only show I've touched is Zom 100 at the moment, and I thought that one was pretty. I watched it like half the season so far, and I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good show. I just got done with soccer
Which episode
season,
do you
so
stop at?
I think I'm on 7 right now.
What
I'd have to
happens?
look. They're heading back to the main character's home village. They got stopped by his old boss and recruited to work there on the way there.
Oh
So
my
they're kind
God, I
of,
hate that dude so much.
dude, he's just so loud and annoying. I
He's
mean, if
a
I'm gonna recommend,
terrible human being.
yeah, that's he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He knows how to get shit
I like
done.
his friend. I like the main character's friend.
Mm,
His
yeah,
call his
I
college
bet,
friend.
I bet you do because he's naked half the time, bro.
It's so
Uh,
random. You just be naked for no reason.
yeah, nah, he's fun. I mean, if I'm gonna recommend a show, I'm gonna recommend anybody watching that needs to get into something that's absolutely octane gas, that no stop, all gas, is my favorite show in the world, Attack on Titan. They just finished the show finally. I haven't watched the last episode yet, but I
Then
will
you didn't finish
say,
it then.
huh?
Then you didn't finish it then.
I'm saving it. It's like eating the last piece of chocolate. You don't usually eat it the first time you see it.
Did
I
you
will
say
say though,
chocolate?
chocolate. I will say too, like if you're not really into anime and you're thinking about maybe starting it, I think a good starter one, depending on like how high you want to set your expectations, is Death Note. Even people that don't like anime, Death Note's a great show as far as, it's only like 35 episodes, great drama. It's not really like weird. Some people think anime is weird, but it's just something where you're always wondering what happens next. And now, if you want to set your bar high, that's a good one to start on. Now, if you want to start low and work your way high, I think Sword Art Online is like a beginner anime for everybody, and it's something where it's a little bit longer, and there's like freaking 5 different variances. I'll be honest, I've only seen 2 of them, but it sets the tone of like, okay, this is what anime is like and what I really want to get into. Because I feel like if you start
Yeah.
high, then you're like everything should be like this, which it's not.
Yeah, I never watched it per se, but I know guys like my friend Evan. He was never into anime, but he really liked that show, and he watched it with his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a good starter one, man. It really just like takes you out of reality. It's like one of those where you're like you kind of fantasize about, okay, like especially if you're a gamer. Like if you ever played video games, you ever like were into games, like it basically puts you like for example, like World of Warcraft. Like it puts you into the world if I was physically there myself. Like because it's about like a guy and the society of like how people game is like the VR stuff and then like you got locked. It's kind of like that Spy Kids movie, Spy Kids 3, if all the people
Oh yeah,
already watching, where
yeah,
those guys went into the video games and they got locked in the video games. And if you actually die in the game, then you're actually dead. So
yeah. That's what Goblin Slayer is like to me. Or it's except it's not like you go into a game. It's just that's just the real world is the game.
yeah,
Um, one in terms of like non like drama or not drama but non like fighting animes. There's 2 that I recommend, like 2 sports animes. Me and Todd have watched this show. Haiku, that's a good volleyball anime. Um, the one thing I don't like about Haiku is like it takes like 5 episodes just to go through one match sometimes. It's so dragged out.
yeah. I
I mean, if you ever watch a real volleyball game, it's not that slow in real life. Um, but another one I really liked was Blue Lock. I think I showed you Blue Lock, Todd. I don't think you finished it.
I
It's
never
that sock.
started Blue Lock.
Oh gosh, it's a soccer anime,
You
and
showed me a different one.
oh
Or
yeah, that one was good, but it's not as good as Blue Lock though.
yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Blue Lock. I might have to watch it. I was
Yeah,
really big into haiku for a bit. Um, just because it was so motivating. Like anybody that's ever played like sports, like college sports, high school sports, like it just kind of gives you like it lets you reminisce on those days. You're like, damn, I kind of miss playing at a competitive level. The
yeah.
music's fire, so that always helps.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, if you don't like any of those animes, you can always watch Boruto. That's a great
Get the
anime.
fuck out of here. I will say Naruto. I be watching all these reels about Naruto. I was like, I miss like if I could erase my mind and rewatch one show, I think it would be Naruto Shippuden. Even though Attack is my favorite show ever, like I just it was one of my first animes, and it was a great ride all the way around. Even with all the filler and bullshit, it was still great. It was
Yeah, I agree. Like Naruto, kind of. I always watch anime, but when I first watched anime, I didn't know what anime was. I just thought it was, oh, I'm watching cartoons. Like growing up watching like Dragon Ball on like Toonami or Cartoon Network. But like Naruto was like my first like anime I was actively watching and following because like I would watch the new episodes every week when the English dub came out on Cartoon Network, and I would get like I bought the books too. I literally had all of
fantastic.
part one and the novelizations of it. I had like 17. There were 17 volumes, and I had it in my bookshelf. And I also had like the collectors magazines. Like that was like my first anime I really was like following religiously at the time. And then I would even I'd read the manga online. That's how I found out that you can read shit online when it's not in America yet. Like I'd read the Japanese manga, and then someone would translate it illegally. And
Mm.
I remember it was like every 2 weeks on this website I'd read a new Naruto chapter, and then I'd wait for the anime to catch up, and then sometimes I'd wait for the dub to catch up to the anime. So it's like I'm like reading, I'm like following the same story 3 times, so I can never get bored.
Now, the real question is, who's your favorite character in the show?
Of the entire show, oh, that'd be Jiraiya followed by Gaara.
Gara, huh?
Oh yeah, he's a very interesting character, especially you looking from part 1 all the way to into Shippuden. He's the most character development, in my opinion.
That's no, I mean that's fair. That's fair.
And then Jiraiya, he's one of the most powerful shinobi, and he's also just pure comic relief. So you see when he's serious, you see when he's lighthearted. So there's lots of layers to him, which is what I like.
Nah, he's a great character.
And he trains
Definitely.
like the greatest characters on the show. Like he trained Minato, he trained Naruto, he
He's
trained the Yahiko. I think
trained
it's
all those
Yahiko.
moves.
Yeah, he trained the 6 Paths of Pain. Like
He's
all those.
he's definitely in my top 3 for sure. I think I don't want to. I never used to be this way, but I just realized how sick of a character he is. But he would piss me off all the time when I was watching the show and not knowing what happens. But Sasuke, he's on my list now. He never used to be, but I don't know what it
Sasuke.
is.
I've liked Sasuke more in Boruto than I
That's
have
yeah. I
in.
think that's what it is that sold it to me. Is I like how they developed him into being like this other type of person. So I think that's why I really like him now is because he's just a whole different guy in Boruto.
Yeah. Um, I never really had a problem with part 1 Sasuke. Part 2 or Shippuden Sasuke really annoyed me at times, just
Yeah,
because
he's a
like
little bitch.
he got so arrogant and he had most of his fights he was saved by plot armor.
Dude, the plot armor is insane for my man. Killer B whooped his ass like 3 times in the same fight, and he still didn't. I will say he's got probably the coolest fights in the show, though, out of everybody. If you think about it, like Deja versus Sasuke was cool. Killer B versus the Taco was cool. Like Sasuke, Naruto, uh, Danzo Sasuke was sick.
Yeah,
Itachi,
yeah, and then all those fights he got saved by plot armor because Itachi could have killed him if he wasn't dying all of a sudden. Like, oh, by the way, I'm dying, so you win this time. But like you're right, Sasuke had the best fights in terms like watching him fight is always fun to watch because like he's so tactical and he's a genius. So he does
yeah,
every move with a thought process behind it. Well, watching someone like Naruto fight, especially in the early days, like part 1, it was just frustrating to watching because he do the same shit over and over again. Or if he gets knocked down, he just gets back up, which is cool. Like I like the perseverance, but like Sasuke, he's the type of fighter where like I'm not going to have any wasted movements. Well, Naruto's like, oh, I'm just gonna keep going until I die,
well, the thing with Sasuke is there's a variety. It's Shadow Clone Jutsu or Rasengan. You pick, brother.
or put them together.
And my other favorite character is an Uchiha as well. That's my boy Obito. That's probably the Kakashi Obo.
Senpito?
Yeah, Simpito. He's a cool ass character. I think what really like set him apart for me was just like I will say I was foolish and I didn't know it was him under the mask, but like learning that was just it was a great. I actually spoiled it for myself because my friend Steve had like the Ninja Storm 4 game, and I was only watching it in dub at the time because I was stupid. So like I didn't know who the masked man was, and we were playing the game, and I hover over the masked guy, Toby, and it said Obito Uchiha, and that's how I figured it out. I was like, bro, I can't believe I just spoiled that for myself. I was like, oh
Man,
my gosh.
I remember when no one knew who he was yet. People made rumors of, oh, it could be this character. My favorite prediction was the Ichiraku ramen guy.
Dude, what if it was? He was just an Uchiha this whole time.
Um,
That
I'm
would be.
trying to I, I'm trying to think who I thought it would be. That was I couldn't think of anybody,
You didn't think it
honestly.
was Madra? I thought it was
Ma-
Madara. I thought it was him for sure. I thought since Orochimaru shows you reanimation, I was like, honestly, with the Akatsuki, because they kind of like, they showed you that half of them are immortal, Other half is like doing random shit. Like Orochimaru can't fucking die. Apparently, Hidan doesn't fucking die. Kakuzu has 5 lives. Pain's not actually fucking Pain. So like, I was like, well, shit. If they can all do that, I'm sure Madra found a way not to fucking die.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted you to think it was Madara right off the bat, especially when he said, "I am Madara." Like, before he claimed to be Madara, I tried really hard to make some sort of guess. Um, oh yeah, there was one guess that it was actually Minato. He was Obito.
But what happened with the Minato Obito fight in the
But that
little
was before
concession?
that fight was a thing. And then once that was a thing, then that prediction was out the window.
I mean, it could have just been an Uchiha, bro. It could have been Suishi. Who?
Yeah, but the thing with their Sharingan was like Kakashi's a Sharingan, and he's not an Uchiha. Danzo has multiple Sharingans. He's not even an Uchiha. So like the idea of an Uchiha being Toby didn't really cross my mind that much.
And we should have put it together because they did the Kamui, and it's the same pattern from Kakashi to Toby. And I never put it together. I never looked at their eyes at the same time.
Once I watched Kakashi Gaiden, his origin story, then it was clear to me, oh yeah, this is definitely Obito.
Yeah, but it's too late at the time. I
Yeah.
will say that was probably one of the cleanest fights in the whole show. That was probably my top 2, 3 fights in the whole show.
Hey, which fight?
Obito versus Kakashi.
Oh yeah, it was clean. It was clean choreography. To this day, my favorite fight of all time in this show was Naruto versus Sasuke Part 1, when they met
Yeah.
in the I honestly think it is, like, it was so revolutionary at the time because like, the show
Yeah.
never got to that sort of, like it was more eye-opening of, like, "Whoa," like, "This show is really serious now." Especially Part 1. Part 1, like Part 2, like, Shippuden, like, that shit is so over the top. Don't even start Boruto, man, they're fucking fighting aliens now. But, like, the whole introduction, like what the fighting could be with that fight itself was like why it resonated with me the most. And the animation was just perfect for at the time.
Yeah.
This was in
They
2004, 2003, and it powers up to today's standards.
they killed it. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I didn't like is how I don't know. I'm really picky about like realistic shit sometimes. And when Sasuke dive bombed Naruto's neck into the fucking ground, and then he went like this, and he
Oh
didn't
yeah,
die, that's kind of like okay. Well, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching.
yeah. I honestly think Naruto could have won that fight. He
He
just didn't
held
want
back,
to hurt.
dude.
He held back. It was very obvious because you know what he did at the end. He just scratched his headband. He just wanted to. He just Naruto just wanted Sasuke's respect. He wanted to
Yeah.
prove that he can at least cut his. In the earlier in that arc, Naruto and Sasuke are fighting that rooftop, and Sasuke says, "You can't even put a scratch on my headband." That's what Naruto wanted to do.
They did a good job on the show. They really did. Is it AOT? No, but it's a good show.
AOT has better storyline than Naruto. Naruto has too many plot holes.
There's just too much filler. Yeah, there's the plot holes too. AOT is just a beautifully written story, man. That's really what it comes down to.
You really got to pay attention because I've been lost lots of times on that show.
The only time I really got lost was season 3, part 1. That's where I was like, whoa, I gotta rewatch this. That was like with King Royce and all that shit. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on now. I thought I did. I have no idea. That was a weird arc. That was a weird arc.
Was this the arc before they discovered they're on an island?
It was before that.
Okay, yeah. Once I found out there was worlds outside of their own world, that's why I got confused. I'm like, is this the same shit anymore?
Bro, I swear it was the Holocaust, dude. I swear that's what it was referenced. That's what I thought at first. Like how they gave them armbands and stuff and treated them kind of like Jewish people on the island. I was like, yo, is this like a German reference or what?
I kind of thought that when I was watching the season finale, because even their names were kind of German sounding.
Easy, chief.
I'm just talking about names. The names of
adds,
the Marleys, they're called, right?
yeah, Marlanes.
Marlanes, and then the Jews, or at least the reference of it, are the Eldians. Um, yeah, well, overall, like watching the first episode and then watching the end, it's like this played out pretty well and better than I expected based on when I read the ending. I think you'll like it, so you have to let me know when you watch it, so I don't have to ruin it for you.
I appreciate it. I will say, one thing from season 4 that I kind of was like, they should have done a little bit better with was like more screen time for the Warhammer Titan. I think would have been cool.
Oh yeah, that's a very OP like power, and
Yeah,
she
and they kind of
she
like
wasn't in it.
it felt kind of rushed. I mean, like it was cool. I think they still did it really well, like how it turned out. But I was just like, man, I just finally learned what this is, and then Aaron claps her shit, and now he has it, and it's like, well, actually, he cheated because he needed help because he was about to lose the wands.
Yeah. Um. Speaking of Warhammer Titan, you know who's my anime crush on that show?
I know it's not Mikasa.
No.
Probably dead ass Sasha.
No.
Ymir.
No, she is alive, and
Historia.
she's one of the Titans.
Nah, bro, get the out of here. Annie?
No, not her. There's the other one.
Ooh.
Peck,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
Cart
yeah.
Titan.
Yeah, you guys look alike. That makes sense.
Always tired, that's for sure.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch that this weekend. I'm excited.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to FaceTime you watching it, like the time that I asked you to FaceTime the Mike Tyson fight because I didn't want to pay for it.
I, I got you,
You
bro.
remember that?
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I didn't have crack stream or something, so I made you FaceTime your crack stream
Wasn't
so I could
I
watch
wasn't
it.
nah, we paid for it, dude.
Oh, that's what it was. Like, yeah, you paid for the Mike Tyson fight. Who was it against? I forget.
Uh it was because it was Jake versus
You're
oh my
thinking
gosh.
you're thinking of the
I mean
Floyd
Jake
Mayweather fight.
no, Jake was in the card as well.
Oh, that's right.
But it was Tyson versus some other old ass dude that used to box all the time. I'm trying to remember his name.
I forget, but
Uh,
yeah, you're gonna have to FaceTime me when you're watching the movie or the final episode.
I'll FaceTime you right when it ends.
You'd probably be bawling like a little baby.
I will be crying because I'd spent so much time. It's like a 10-year show.
I still remember the first time I watched it. It was in my dorm room freshman year of college.
Do, do, do. Yeah,